Perspective. Let's talk about it. Okay, so this would be a bit more of a rant than I've done previously, just because of how I'm feeling like at this precise moment in time. But I want to talk about perspective. Okay, so this week I've had a bad week. Like a few things have happened that have not been great and have left me feeling not very good. Some of those things are self-inflicted, some are outside of my control. But either way, a combination of events have left me feeling not very good. Now, when I talk about perspective, I'm really talking about looking at my own issues currently and then almost comparing them to a worse situation. So I'd look online, I'd watch videos, I'd think about things I'd heard before, and I would think, well, at least I haven't got that problem going on. But the problem with doing that is that it invalidates your own feelings about your own issues and whatever is affecting you at the time. And actually, all that really does is put you in a situation where you can't deal with or manage or process the problems that you're going through because you're thinking, oh, they're not important, they don't matter, because something else is going on somewhere else that is more important. When actually, regardless of how small your problems may be in the grand scheme of things, you're still allowed to feel a certain way about them. You shouldn't think this problem isn't important, I won't seek help for it, I won't try and solve it, I'll just ignore it. Because that's what happens when you look at a bigger problem around you. You basically don't deal with your own ones, or at least that's something that I'm guilty of. And then there comes the perspective of how you deal with the bad things you're going through, and accepting that actually I am allowed to have these feelings and feel this way about whatever the situation is that you're facing. And once you do that, the perspective side of things comes from thinking, okay, is my response to those things rational? Is my response to those things correct? Is my response to those things justified? Because not every single bad situation and bad moment in your life will need to have the same response or should have the same response emotionally, from you. Because, for example, if you drop a glass and it breaks, that's a problem because now you've got glass to deal with. You don't want to get it in your foot. You don't want people to step on it, things like that. But if your response to that is to then start screaming and shouting and being abusive and to people around you or to yourself, then that's not a valid response to that situation, in my opinion. And I'm sure most people would agree with that. So really the main point of this video that I want to get across is that perspective is important in managing how you deal with something. And so sometimes we need to change our perspective on things. We need to look at things through a different lens, shall we say. And the only way you can really do that, which for me is an ongoing process, is to try, is to watch videos, is to listen to people who have had similar experiences and have dealt with these things in the past, just finding ways that you can reevaluate your emotional response to things, because it is something that I struggle with, and it's something that I certainly need to improve, and I try to, but it's not always easy. It's difficult to change habits that have been there your whole life. I mean, I find it hard to talk about these things out loud, and I even find it hard to look at the camera. I'm doing it now, but that's because I'm talking about it. But otherwise, I'm looking off, because when you have things you know you're doing wrong, it's very difficult to face up to them and to face people about these problems. Yeah, I know it's a bit of a rant, this one, but I just want to try and keep this vlog as sort of real and authentic, maybe, as I can do, and I want to sort of express stuff as they come up where I can. But yeah, I appreciate you watching. Hopefully you can take something away from this, and I'll see you next time.